Hi, witches.
Hi, hello, and welcome back to a very, very long awaited Hemlock Part 5 episode. Um,
Unrelated, but for the first time ever, my thumbnail doesn't look horrendous.
no, but you are off centered.
It's fine. It's because the cat peed all over the office right after we got the puppy, and so everything got moved around.
I was going to say, this is what I see. There you go.
There.
Anyways. So, yeah, Part 5 of Hemlock and Silver.
Chapter 21.
Sorry about the month-long hiatus. I have been extremely sick and can't.
And I've been extremely depressed.
And she had to play, so she had no availability for anything. So between me getting sick and her not being able to do anything, it's been rough. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, chapter
But we're
21
back. Chapter 21.
for a short time only because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're back this week. We're back this week. We're
And
gonna
next,
keep trying. Yeah.
after that, it's anyone's guess. Anyways, chapter 21. Listen, chapter 20 took forever.
It
I
did.
thought I had read 5 chapters worth of this book after chapter 20.
Yeah.
So I had to regroup. And obviously it's been a while since we've finished this book. So um it's yeah, there was a lot that happened in chapter 20, and then all of a sudden we just come into chapter 21 like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and a lot
Um
happens. A lot
yeah.
happens. So they
So
go back into the mirror world to try to find Sorrel.
because they kind of have they don't necessarily think it's her, but they like
They have a
have an
theory.
yeah, a running theory because like she's a little crazy. Um the who is it? Bastion went insane. They thought maybe she poisoned him and she's going back and forth. She knows a lot about things. She claims that it's like they freak her out, but like maybe that's just a ploy to get her off the radar. So like there's a theory that she's actually behind all of this. Um so they want to go investigate um her rooms basically.
Yeah. And when they go into the mirror world to get to her rooms. Um and all of a sudden there's a few of the gray mirror people that are awake and they
Are actively
um
moving towards them.
yeah, they're like stalking them.
And they're kinda confused because he was like, "What is this? Like, is there a mirror nearby?" And she goes, "I don't think so." And then he's like, "Oh, well, are they dangerous?" Because obviously if they've never seen something like this happen, I mean, they have, but it wasn't, like, threatening in any way. And so he's just standing there, Javier is standing there with, Anya, and all of a sudden he the gray figure just draws a sword, and they're like, "Oh, fuck.
Oh shit.
These guys are definitely bad news." So yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, and so they um find a mirror and escape back into the real world. Um
Because
and then this part's funny. This part's funny. First of all, top of page 252, the hair with a maid attached.
it's
So
I think
again
she's
with the
probably
fucking
got
hair.
okay, so you know how a lot of people, like, go into Harry Potter, you know how a lot of people thought Hermione was, like, a person of color because of the way her hair was, like, described?
Mhm.
and people saw her as, like, a person of color because of, like, not the matting, but, like, just the volume and all that. What if this person's, like, not like, what if this person's, like, a person of color and the hair is just wild and crazy? And
Maybe, I don't know, the friggin' and
maybe
then
Anya's never
the
seen
hair
somebody
eats the
like
feather
that?
duster. Like,
Can you just
I'm so
imagine somebody walking
confused.
in with, like, an afro and they just shove the feather duster in her hair, like, "Okay, let's
Right.
go." Like, it's like an apron.
It literally says Eloise put the feather duster on her shoulder where her hair promptly engulfed it. Like, what is happening? But anyway, the point is, that's part of the funny part, but the other funny part is that this maid catches them in, like,
A
a rumpled
compromised
state
position.
in this room that should be
'Cause this room is not being
empty.
used.
Right.
It's covered, like, it's got feather covered, like, dusted dusters on it.
Yeah. And she says that they air out the rooms once a week so they don't get musty. So she caught them in what she thinks was a tryst.
Yeah, because Anya fell on top of Javier through the mirror,
Yeah.
and here we are.
Yep.
So they're trying really, really hard to, like, save face and not, like, say anything and be like, "Okay, that's good. Thank you so much for protecting me. Sorry, I tripped, I fell, whatever." And it's like the maid is like, not feeling it."
Yeah. And then
And she is absolutely terrified or, like, embarrassed.
yes,
Just it's just funny.
it's super funny because at this point she still thinks that Javier is like disgusted by her and like
Yeah.
disgusted by the idea of being with her.
And so she thinks that he's, like, gonna not necessarily stop talking to her or anything like that, but, like, the dynamic's gonna change a bit because now a maid in every single period drama anyone has ever watched or read, the maids are the gossip queens.
Mhm.
Maids know all. So now she's gotta deal with the fact that she may or may not feel like she's, compromised in this wonderful situation, and she already people already think she's the king's mistress, so
Yeah. Yep. And then they start talking about everything and then she's telling Javier about Grayling and about how he knows a lot more about the mirror world. And Javier just takes all of this in stride. He's just like, "Okay, that's fine."
cats don't talk, but I'll humor you.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
so he finally learns about Grayling, and he didn't she obviously can't answer any of his questions, but, like, other than, like, "This is what I witnessed, this is what he said, this is what's happening."
Yep.
Um, and obviously it's a cat, so, like, he doesn't necessarily sit there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna come be loved on. I'm gonna" no, he's gonna stay away until he wants something.
Mhm.
Um, so she's like, "Well, I'll introduce you as soon as he comes back,"
Yeah.
or wherever that is, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but, um, this is kinda where, after that conversation kinda trailed off because they start talking about, like, uh, not necessarily about, like, introducing themselves to Grayling, but, like, what Grayling has said about the people who are awake. Um, so then they start thinking and they start talking about it. Um, so if you were using she someone said, "So if you were using a reflection of yourself to guard something, you'd have to be careful not to walk in front of any of the mirrors." So this is where they start assuming that maybe Lady Sorrel has something to do with it because she has her mirrors covered up. She doesn't like it. And that's when I was like, unless there's someone else that's being, like, overly cautious,
Right.
about not being in front of mirrors, like, This has gotta be something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. She then there's, like, a page break, and they come get her because, um, Snow is, like, violently ill right now, and she goes to see her, and she's, like, sending everybody away so they can talk to her, and she's like, "How many apples did you eat?" She's like, "2 down to the core," and she's like, "Why?" And we don't find out why yet.
Yeah, that's still a mystery, just that she's eating apples. We really don't know what the reason why
Yeah.
she's eating all these apples and consistently, but
Yeah, and then she says, "Who is making you do this?" Lady Sorrel, and she's like, "What?" And then she's like, "Who is it then?" And Snow says, "The queen." And then Anya's like, Snow, the queen is dead." And she goes, "The queen is dead." And then does like a smile and says, "Long live the queen," and starts vomiting again.
yeah. So this is where I was like, is Lady Sorrel the evil queen from like the mirror world, like the changeling theory or whatever? But then I was like, no, there's gotta be something different. Like what if
That's
the
what I said.
queen what if the queen herself was a changeling? Or like what if she had like maybe not a changeling, but what if she came from the mirror world? Like what if? Like what if the mirror
Yeah.
world is something more deep than what we've been led to believe? Um so like it's a wild theory. Not a theory, but I mean like it's a wild like notion that they said like the evil queen, not the evil
Yeah.
queen, but the queen is not dead.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then chapter 22 starts up, and she's like, she sends Eloise, which is the maid, to find Javier because she's like, "I got to talk to somebody because I'm
Somebody
freaking
who
out."
knows.
Um, and she's like, "If I could, I would lock Snow in a room with no mirrors, one door, and the two of us as door guards." But the king was specifically opposed to that. Um,
Damn it. That would have been
right,
perfect.
right. Um, but also that would be a temporary fix, right? Because they still have to figure out why she's doing this and how to stop it.
Yeah.
Um, but then she goes to bed that night. Um, and then somebody is knocking on her door, and she's like, "What is it?" And they're like, "Hilaranya." And like they basically make her open the door. And when she opens the door and steps out into the hallway, someone drops a mirror on her head. So that's
She's got
fun.
the poor fucking rooster.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's got the rooster with her. She's holding the rooster.
Yeah.
But like my first thought was who? Like who dropped
Yeah.
this fucking mirror on her head? Because Snow is like deathly ill, so it can't have been Snow.
Snow is also a 12-year-old girl, and Healer
And
Anya
right,
is like
this has
almost
to be a
6 foot.
big mirror. Like
Yeah. It's gotta be a big mirror. It's gotta be a tall person, or at least somebody who is able to. But also, when they said Healer Anya, she should have been able to, like, differentiate. She's been there long
a
enough. She should have,
voice.
like, heard.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, your bass voice and what you can, like, portray may be different. So maybe they, like, masked their voice in a way, like, lowered their pitch or made it
Yep.
higher. But yeah, so now her and her chicken are in the other world, and the glass is broken.
Yep. And the guard is there. And she throws the rooster at
But you know what? It opens up all new things. She
it.
is able to run,
Yep.
and that's all that matters at this point.
And
But
she
yeah,
runs
so
to like her room, and her mirror that was in her bedroom had been shattered.
Did she try going to the bathroom? I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't think she gets a chance to because after she notices that her room is or her mirror is shattered and she's like, "Fuck," then somebody grabs her. And they say, "Come with us, here, Laranya. Your presence is requested by the queen." And that's the end of chapter 22. And this is so
Ugh,
fucking convoluted. So, chapter 22, we go see the queen. The queen is a mirror
chapter
person.
23.
23, that's what I meant.
I was like, "Wait, where are we?"
The
Like, I'm
queen is a
missing a
mirror
lot.
person. Snow is here.
Snow is acting different too. It's so weird to
Yeah,
see her. Like, I was sitting here like, "That little bitch."
right. Um, and
Like, I thought Snow was an evil queen the way she was acting.
yeah. And
Yeah,
of
so she
course,
comes in.
Anya goes straight into like poisoner mode. And she's like, "You're wearing, I don't know how to say this, but I'm going to call it ceruse on your face. It is not mixed with egg whites because there's no cracking. I assume it's to cover your mirror gray coloring, but everyone knows that it's dangerous now, so you must not have to worry about lead poisoning." And the mirror's like, or the mirror queen's like, "Seriously? Like,
You
really?"
could be dead here soon, and you're talking about my face?
Yeah. And she's like, "Aren't you going to beg for your life?" And Anya's like, "I mean, will it do any good?" And she's like, "No." Okay, well, then there's
What's the
no,
point?
yeah. And then Snow talks and she talks in a childlike voice, like a different voice than her normal voice. And she's like, "I have to go back. They'll come looking soon. I had to lock myself in the bathroom and nurse will think I've drowned." So, um, we find out that the the Mirror Queen is making Snow eat the apples so she can push an adult through the mirror. And it helps her push people like reflections through the mirror. Um, this whole thing is just very confusing and convoluted. So, like, I highly recommend that if you're not reading along with us, that you read it because I feel like we're not going to tell you everything.
Basically, the amount of food this little girl eats, the more she eats, the more likely she can push bigger and bigger items through the mirror.
Yeah,
So, she is attempting to get we don't know, like, who she's attempting to get through the mirror, but, like, the more she eats, the likelihood she'll be able to push somebody through the mirror.
yeah. And so
Um,
then the Mirror Queen starts telling us her story. Um, and basically, she she loves the mirror so much, or like she like talks to the friend in the mirror because she's so lonely. The queen,
the actual queen.
the actual queen, yeah. So she kept talking to her reflection, and eventually that woke up her reflection. Um, and now here's her reflection. And then so one time she cut herself, and a little bit of blood landed on the mirror, and that's what woke her reflection up.
And Mirror Queen has always been jealous of everything this girl gets.
Yeah, like she wants to be the one in the real world.
Um, so anytime, like, she just doesn't have any sympathy for anybody but herself.
Yeah. Um, and so she basically she's trying to get Snow to a point where she can bring adults back to the real world.
Kinda like the changeling idea. That's what it is.
Yeah.
She's trying to essentially rule the real world without leaving the mirror world. So she's trying to push her people through after they eat the heart of the real
Yes.
person so that
Yes.
they don't, because that's the problem. If they're in the real world for too long without eating like the heart of like the person they're like mimicking, then they can just disintegrate.
Yeah. And so this is what happened to, or wait, do we know that yet? No, we haven't gotten that far
No,
about
not yet.
Rose. Okay, no, we haven't talked about that yet. Never mind, just kidding. About went too far. Um, so now they're like, she's basically like, I'm not gonna let you go, but fortunately I have a use for you on this side here, Anya. Take guards, take her away. And now she's imprisoned.
Mhm,
And I'm
mhm.
just like, how long is it gonna take for Javier to come looking for her? Especially when he sees her broken ass mirror in her room.
Yeah. I wonder, like, what the whole idea was for Healer Anya at this time. I was like, what is she trying to do? Like, make a mirror version of Anya
Right.
and, like, get people off the track? I don't know, something.
Yeah.
But
I'm
none of
not
it,
gonna
I mean
lie, the rest of this book was like a fever dream. Like,
yeah,
it gets real wild real quick, and I'm just like,
it was an
"What?"
avalanche of things, and
Yeah.
it was like, I swear to God, I got punched, like, 18 times just reading it, and
And
I
you're
was
just like,
like,
"What?
"What the
What?
fuck is
What?"
happening?" I mean, it was good, I'm not lying, it
Yeah,
wasn't,
it
like,
was. It was
it was
just
terrible, but it was
it
just
was
quick,
yeah.
and I felt like I had to go back and, like, look at things again, like, "What did I see?
Yeah.
Did I read that?" Um, but yeah, so chapter 24, um, the guards lead her down to a, I don't know, holding, not a holding cell, but, like, an area that's, like, smaller than the door or than, a room, like the servant's room, basically, like a servant's quarters.
Yeah.
And when she goes in, there's a mirror guild in there, and she's obviously freaked out. She has no idea what these things are, if they're bad, evil, whatever. And it
Right.
starts coming towards the her and the guard just fucking stabs it.
Uh-huh.
It's alive, but he just like stabs the living shit out of it and like hits it,
Yeah.
and it like looks like it's dying. So it's like these things could possibly die,
Maybe. Yeah. And then he just takes it
but
with him and shuts her in.
yeah, so we have no idea what happened to um it. Have no idea if it lives, if it survives, if it's like a pawn of the evil queen, something. So yeah. And so now she's just stuck in there, and she, I mean, does what anybody in her situation would do, which is cry. Like,
Yeah, she freaks
I
out.
do I do appreciate that Kingfisher wrote like, "Ain't no fucking way. I don't care who you are. I don't care. Violet Sorrengail would have fucking cried." Like, and if she
Right.
didn't, like, that's false. And that ain't no fucking way.
Mhm.
The amount of information that just got shoved at her, the amount of bullshit that she just went through, and like the pure terror of, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And she just like has a moment of respite and she fucking cries. That is so normal.
Yeah. Very real.
And I appreciate that because a lot of people would be like, oh no, my heroine wouldn't do that. They would do this, this, and this. And I'm like, fuck you would.
After all that adrenaline, a natural reaction is to cry.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So she bursts into tears and she, you know, just
Yeah.
kind of sits there. So time passes. She has no idea how long she's been there. She's freezing. Obviously, the mirror world is cold.
Yeah.
Um, and now she's like, how long have I been gone? I vanished without a trace. People are going to think I abandoned them. Um, all these things.
And she's, like, pacing to try to warm herself up,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden
The door opens up and Javier gets shoved through
and then the door gets slammed back shut.
and locked. So
And
it's
he
like, oh.
goes she goes, "You're here, but what happened?" And he goes, "Worst charge. Gonna staple myself to you."
Yeah. And then she's like, it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't mean to get caught. Like, I wasn't even in the mirror world. Like, and I got caught.
Yeah.
Like, I got forced here.
And he says, "Yeah, saw the broken mirror, figure something happened." So then she tells him, like, what happened and is, like, checking him because he's beat up. And then after, like, going back and forth and talking about injuries, all of a sudden, um, the door opens.
Yeah. It's like, who the fuck is in here?
Yeah,
And Grayling comes through.
it's Grayling. And he says, "Bolts are a stone bitch to work with if you don't have thumbs. Don't make me deal with a doorknob, too." And that's the end of chapter 24. It just ends right there.
Yep.
And then chapter
And it's funny
25.
too because it's like you can hear the attempts of him trying to get the bolts. You can hear
Yeah,
it because he was like scree thump, like so you can hear the attempts, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" And she thought it was the Mirgeld coming back
yeah.
for her.
Right, because that's terrifying.
Right, and it's underneath her bed. It was underneath her bed. I mean,
Yeah,
if you watch, I don't remember which book it was or which movie it was, but like if you watched Harry Potter and Harry Potter like leaned over and like looked under the bed, and all of a sudden a fucking book comes out and tries to eat him. That's basically
yeah,
what happened. So she's terrified, and yeah, then it was just a cranky little gray cat.
yeah. And so now they're trying to figure out what to do, um, now, and I don't know, they start to, um, go, and they're talking about, like, it has to be blood to awaken a reflection, that's why there's not a ton of reflections around, um,
What's so funny about this too is obviously before you leave, you kind of need like a plan. Like, how many guards are there? What's going on? Like, are there patrols? All of this kind of stuff. And so Javier, being the person of reason, he's like, "How did you get past all the guards?" And Grayling, obviously coming from this world, knowing how to slink, he's a cat. Obviously, he can be a little stealthy. He is. He's like, "There aren't any. Haven't you figured it out, Mr. Cats aren't smart? She's only got 4 servants in total, and one's her maid. One guard is with her at all times. One does patrol." And then he goes, "And I made sure that third one isn't walking around for a very long time." And
yeah,
it's like, "Oh, Grayling can be smart. He just will not give you the information you request when you need it."
yep, and yeah.
So Javier
So
got a
she found
taste of
out that
Grayling right off the bat. It's wonderful.
yeah, and Grayling is telling them about how there was an old woman who, like, took care of him because she's the one that pulled him out of the or saved him from drowning, and the queen was using that old woman to, like, bring things back and forth from the mirror world, and, she basically bled that old woman to death, waking up
And
her guards and horses and all of this.
mhm. Which is what we find out that Anya would have done. She would have been that person to bled, or she would have bled to awaken more and more people.
Yep,
And so we find out too how sad Grayling is and how pissed off he is because that was his person. That was like his like soulmate basically.
yep,
Because cats always pick the one person that they love. Like they
yeah,
love people, but, like, there's this one person that will always be theirs, and that was his, and so now that she's dead, he's pissed off and, kinda doesn't want revenge, but, like,
Yeah.
he doesn't imply he wants it, but he also doesn't say to do something different.
Yeah. But and so we find out too that the woman died waking up Lady Sorrel's reflection. So that was like her final thing that she
Yeah.
did.
So
Um,
we now know that Lady Sorrel has a reflection.
yes.
We don't know if she's involved yet or not, but
Yep.
so we know changelings are a thing.
Yeah, and then they're taking off and trying to find a way out. Um, and they run into or they're like down the hall in the courtyard and one of the guards sees them. And so they take off running and they just go into a room and they're like, "Oh, these are Lady Sorrel's rooms." And oh, there's Reflection Lady Sorrel. Um, and we find out basically that she is not helping the queen. She doesn't want to be there. Um, they she helps them basically.
Mhm. 'Cause she doesn't like the queen.
Yeah. Because the queen told her she was going to be eating the other Lady Sorrel's heart. Um, and she was like, "I'm absolutely not going to be fucking doing that." She said, "I don't know if that's murder or suicide, but I want no part of it."
And Lady
Um,
Sorrel is Lady Sorrel in the real world, and it's just amazing.
yeah. Um, and so yeah, she helps them get away basically. And
Yeah, she's
then
got, like, a trap door kinda thing in her closet
yeah,
or
and
behind it.
then Anya starts to put it together. And the last sentence of chapter 25 is, "Oh hell, Princess Snow is real, but her sister Rose wasn't."
Mhm.
Um, which it's going to go into more detail about that in the next chapter, I think. But um, basically, if you'll recall, the nurse and everyone said that like Rose changed at the end
Mhm.
and all of a sudden like she forgot her letters and she forgot how to do things like had trouble buttoning up her coat and various things um and that's because she was the mirror rose. So I don't know,
We're just gonna be here forever.
it's fine.
Anyways.
um Yeah, it was the mirror rose, and everything is backwards in the real world. So she was clumsy all of a sudden. She couldn't read because the letters are backwards compared to what they are
Mhm.
in the mirror world, and all of these things.
And she
Um,
recalled that the king said she was cutting our daughter's heart out, and it's like, was
yeah,
she? She was checking to see if the heart
yeah,
was there, because if the heart was not there, then that meant her daughter was dead. The
yes,
heart was gone,
yep,
or so, like, we think.
yep. And so, chapter 26. She's figured it all out, and she's like, well, okay, what do we do? They're in this like tunnel, and there's a bunch of like, what are there doors? I don't remember. Yeah,
I think there's, like, not a tunnel, it's not, I mean, I think it's got, like, a side area, maybe?
yes, like, they're, like, between the walls kind of vibes.
Mhm, mhm.
But they can't get out.
Yeah, because when they go down straight to basically where the kitchen is, and there's,
Yep.
like, barrels of, like, ale or whatever on top of it, so
Yeah, so they're like, "Shit, what do we do?" And then all of a sudden, there's a scraping noise coming from the wall, and a lot of hands grab Anya and pull her through a passageway. and it is a mirror geld.
And obviously she's trying not to scream because
Right. But they
they're trying to find
also
her.
yeah. And they realize that this mirror geld is not bad.
He's just squished.
Yeah. And so he's trying to help them basically. Um and
Yo, it'd be so wild though if like the guards went down that same path that they went down. Um, that would be so easy to get rid of the guards.
right. But basically they go with the mirror geld and it helps them get out. Like it takes them
Yeah.
and the passageway it takes them down, it's in the pit
Yeah,
with
it
all the
leads to the
holes in it.
pit. And they're like, "Well, we can't fucking climb this wall." And of course, Javier's like, "No, I think we could. We could probably do it. Let me see." And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, the mirror geld's like smart,
Yeah.
or
And it
at
like
least can like make conversation, like sign language kind of thing.
yeah. And it calls out the other mirror gelds and they basically hand them up the wall.
Yeah,
Like
they
a
create like a
fucking
ladder
really creepy
stair.
assembly line kind of vibe or like a
Hmm.
yeah.
Like they're not walking up this; they're just being handed
No.
off. Oh,
Yes.
this scene kind of reminded me of like the labyrinth when she was like falling down the like hole. Have you seen the labyrinth?
We've had this conversation so many times.
I'm so disappointed right now.
I know.
There is a part where this little tiny gremlin says your mother is a fucking aardvark,
Yeah.
and I want to say that to you so bad.
I mean, fair. Never seen it.
Go fucking watch it, god damn it. You will
Okay, when
know.
I have time, which is never.
Okay. Anyways,
There's like a really creepy mosh pit, basically. They're passing them up the wall.
it's like an escalator.
Yeah. Um, I don't
Anyways,
literally don't have
so
anything else. Okay, yeah. So they get out
uh yeah.
and they go back into the real world, and my alarm is going off, and they burst into Snow's room.
Because that's where they'll probably find a mirror.
Yeah. And Snow was like, I wasn't going to do it. And they're all freaking out. And the nurse is like, what is the meaning of this? Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, um, asking Snow about like, tell me about your sister. And, um, they, um, Snow says, but Rose was in the mirror, I think. Rose had an accident and hit her head, and Mirror Mother was taking care of her. But she needs quiet, and they can't move her while she gets better. So Rosie came out to pretend to be Rose so that no one would ever wonder where she went. So basically, the Mirror Queen lied to Snow um, about what happened to the real Rose. Um, and she's like, and now then, but then Mother did that with the knife, and now she and Rosie are gone, and Rose is all I have left, but the Mirror Mother won't let me see her. And so like they have to break her heart and tell her like Rose is not
She's
alive.
gone. She's dead. Yeah.
Um and then uh, she's like Snow is once they tell her the truth and Snow like knows the truth, she freaks out. She's like, I will fucking kill her. Um and they're like, nope, if you just stay out of the mirror forever, she'll be
She loses. You
yeah,
win.
you
Like
win.
it's easy.
Yeah. But I just don't think that sweet little Snow is gonna listen to that. I wouldn't. No, I'm going back
Mm-mm.
for my revenge. That bitch got to die. But and that's the end of chapter 26, unless you had anything else about chapter 26.
Uh, the only thing it was that this was a fucking roller coaster of things.
Yeah, and it's not
Like,
done. We're not done. We're not done. There's more roller coaster in the next episode.
low key, I, like, wasn't expecting her to, like, have that reaction.
Yeah,
Like, something similar, but not that, but I mainly did not believe that, uh, I don't know, like, I guess I just wasn't ready for that, like, mic drop right there. Like, I figured it was
yeah,
gonna happen a little later, and I just felt like it was not necessarily a rush, but it was just like, "Here you go, blown up in your face."
yeah. Like, damn.
It's like, "What the fuck happened?"
Well, there's not that much book left. They gotta speed through it.
True, very true. I think that's, like, the weirdest part about, like, reading a standalone is, like, how quick the story goes, and you're just like,
Yeah.
"I'm not used to finding any of this out until, like, book 7."
Right, right. That is an interesting thing about standalones for sure.
But but yeah, no, it was crazy, so but yeah, until
Yeah.
next time.
Bye.